Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm William Green, and these are my green pets. Well, today's Saturday, and it is the judging day in St. Louis, but I am not taking this orchid to St. Louis because, why? Because it's not having it. The flowers, you can see they've taken on that pink color. They are done. They are over it. There's still a few that still look nice, but for the most part, this plant is just about done blooming. And those flowers are starting to fall off. So it was nice while it lasted. It only lasted about 3 or 4 weeks, something like that. Last year I remember it lasted longer. It lasted around 5 weeks, but I think it's because it was in a much cooler room. It always is in the high 60s in there, but in here it's in the 70s or 20s Celsius. So I think that higher temperatures means the flowers don't last as long. I've had a couple of people ask me if I water my catasetum types during their dormancy or their leafless stage, and my answer is absolutely yes. I don't water them a lot. I don't drench them every day or anything, but you see these bulbs? I want these bulbs to be plump and firm. Last year last year was my first year with them, and I didn't think you were supposed to water them during dormancy at all. And these bulbs, especially this one and this one to a lesser extent, they shriveled up quite a bit. And what happened? Well, these white ones here, 2, 3, these are the newest growths that have bloomed this year. Well, look at them. What do you notice? They're smaller. They're smaller than the previous year's growth. I was thinking all of my growths this year would be this big, and they were not. They were half that size. And I wonder if it wasn't because I didn't water them at all during their dormancy cycle. So I do try to keep the medium. You know, you can hear it's not crispy. It's slightly damp is how I would describe it. And I do let it dry out completely, and then I water it again until it's, not dripping, but just slightly damp, just enough that those roots that you can see, they change color and they get a little bit of green on them. When you water orchid roots, they turn green. So that's kind of my indicator. But the bulbs are really what tell me what to do. If these start, they have some wrinkles in them, but they're still very plump and very firm. As soon as they start to wrinkle a little bit, and it happens pretty quickly within a couple days, especially since this one's older, it'll start to wrinkle more, first. And I will give it a little water. I don't want that. I'm hoping that this spring, when I believe the new growth will come off of these 3 here, I'm hoping that we're going to get bulbs this big this year. That's what I would like. So that's what I'm working for. Got several plants in bud, and this Phalaenopsis has popped open in the past couple days. I really like this one's got really big white flowers. They have not opened completely yet, but they expand to a really large size. But also someone we've been looking to bloom for a few months now, is this guy, Amesiella monticola, has bloomed. Look at this. Isn't it cute? Actually, looking at it with that long spur and the shape of the flower, it reminds me of the face huggers on those alien movies. Ah! Let's take a close-up of the spur here, and you can see it's got lots of nectar in it. There's kind of a line there that shows where the nectar stops. Just waiting for a hungry moth to suck it up. But alas, there are no such moths in the green room. Let's have a little bit of a close-up here. It doesn't look like the petals have opened up entirely. They still kind of seem curved at the edges. But it's been like this for a couple of days, so maybe this is it. Maybe it won't open anymore. In addition to the flower, we've also got a couple of new roots poking out. Very, very good news. And then originally in the fall there were 2 spikes. You can see below the root there, that little green nub. That was a spike that just never really did anything, so I don't know if that one will actually start to grow at some point, or if it's just a false alarm. This little Phalaenopsis schilleriana has got 13 buds on its spike, which is great. I think this might be a first bloom for this plant. It's definitely my first, and I'm excited to see those open up. Looking forward. I hope that they're fragrant. I really, really hope, fingers crossed, that they are good smelling little flowers. A couple months ago I showed you 2 of my slipper orchids that were suffering from rot, and even though I really didn't do anything to them, the rot did stop. So some good news there. This plant, for example, this is a Phragmipedium grande. It, you can see that old growth completely rotted, and then the second growth there, the leaves rotted down to a point, but then the other leaves stayed okay, and then it has put out a new growth, and that seems to be okay. It's got kind of a little orange spot on it, but I'm pretty happy. I'm thinking that it's gonna make it. Here's another slipper orchid that had some rot. You can see that leaf right there is black, and there were other rotted leaves, but I cut them off. You can kind of see them behind the new growth there. But look, this is a new growth that came out of the rotted growth. It's putting on new leaves, and then of course it's got a growth back here that just came out the back of the plant, and so now it's got 2 growths on it. That's good. So the old leaves don't look that great. Not terrible, but not that great. But 2 new growths means things are looking okay for this guy. It's kind of hard to get a shot of all of my slipper orchids down here, but you can see most of them there. But a lot of them have got new growth poking out. Oh, that's such a good sign. Things are going well. Good. 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 Now this slipper, unfortunately, I can't call it good. It's not good. But I can say it's better. I want you to look at these leaves here, and if you have dealt with this before, I bet you can tell what it is. This is fertilizer burn. Yes, that's right. I'm a little ashamed to say it, but last summer, when everything was out in the shade house, I poured full strength 511 Alaska fish emulsion fertilizer over several plants. And some of them, for example this PAF Prime Child, responded by putting out 2 new growths and saying, "Hey, I love that, give me more." However, some of my other plants, for example this PAF Villosum, said, "What are you doing? I hate you. I'm going to die now." So its lower, several of its lower leaves died, and it had a new growth coming. This is from the new growth here, which promptly stopped growing, like stopped. Forget it. This plant has not grown at all. It has not changed in size, shape, form since July or August. And it's the thing with orchids, man. You make a mistake and they don't let you know until a long time after the fact, And I thought maybe it was a little bit too strong, but the other ones seemed to be doing okay. But then, sure enough, slowly, a month or so later, I started seeing this burn, this telltale fertilizer burn. And you can see not only does it turn the leaf, does it discolor the leaves, but it actually changes the texture of the leaf as well. It's like it takes off a layer of the leaf. It's just a weird thing. But yeah, so that's nitrogen burn, pretty sure. But the plant is not dead. and that's a good sign. So maybe I did repot it. This is all fresh, medium, so possibly it will gather its strength and start growing again sometime soon, but it has not done anything since July or August, just to kind of hit home the fact that mistakes with orchids will cost you some time. Alright, this cute little bulbophyllum species is developing its bud, and curious if anybody had any more guesses on what it is. It is going to be blooming soon, I hope. Looks like this little guy is entering the final stages of flower development. And it's got a little bit of a tinge, a little bit of a color showing through now, kind of a reddish color showing through. So it's just going to be one single flower, and looking forward to seeing that open up. Just wanted to take a minute to say thank you to you who watch these videos, who come back every week and check on my green pets. I just wanted to say that I really appreciate the fact that you do that, because what this channel does for me and what you do for me is you give me a voice. I don't have anybody around me in my life that I can talk to about the opening buds on my Falschilleriana, or the bulbophyllum that I just got that has a has a new bud poking out, or the new root growth or leaf growth on my slipper orchids. There's nobody that I can sit down and really talk to about that who actually cares. So this is where I can do that, and if not for you, then I would not be able to express that part of me. So I just really appreciate your attention and your interest as well. So with that said, there's lots of buds that are going to be opening soon here in the green room, so please stay tuned for that, and we will see you next time. I'm William Green. These are my green pets. Thanks very much. Bye bye.